Now, Caila, we got to get into a little bit of a messy situation. We got to go back to, I guess people are calling it Snakegate.
I knew this was gonna happen.
We had to talk about this a little while back. You got into a little hot water on social media when you posted a video to your story of someone, it was a gardener, I believe, killing a snake with scissors, and that garnered a lot of backlash. So can you just tell us, like, what happened in that situation, just like in your own explanation, and what have you learned from that experience?
Well, I want to start off by saying I should not have posted it in the first place. I should not have done that, reacted that way. And I take complete responsibility. I feel horrible for that entire situation. It's even giving me like anxiety thinking about it. But I just did the wrong thing. Sometimes the lines are blurred on social media, and I think I posted it in the moment and I feel horrible. And it happened a couple months ago. And basically what happened is I'm a city girl in the suburbs. And after living in New York for so long, I am finding my way transitioning here in Austin. And I wasn't used to as much wildlife. We've had 2 rattlesnakes in our garage, and I almost stepped on one, and I had a panic attack, and I lived in fear for a couple months to even step out of our front door that I might, see another one. Oh. And so there's a lot of fear that built up in my body that just made me react in the wrong way. And I completely apologize. It was completely the wrong thing. And the other 2 snakes, we relocated humanely. But this one in the backyard, we had just gotten a puppy, and I was really afraid that he would play with it and feel like it's okay to be around. And of course, there's other snakes that are deadly. And I think I 100% reacted in the wrong way. I 100% shouldn't have posted it. I 100% take responsibility, and I'm really sorry. And I just wish I could take it back.
As someone that's grew up in Texas all my life, and we're both in the same city, I have your back. I could definitely see living in a house full of women, growing up in that space. There's been many of the stories that I have that some of the ladies in my household were definitely terrified of going outside because of X, Y, and Z being in the yard, which you just never know. And then 2, I know you personally, and you were like uber sweet. So if anyone thinks the opposite, you're super sweet. And I know that wasn't like your intent. Wasn't how it was received, and you've seen what took place, and I know that you are genuinely apologetic about it. But yeah, welcome to Texas. There's a lot of snakes. Should have told you that.
And I think I hate to say it, that nothing justifies anything. I think the reason though that my reaction was to post it is because I never want to be the girl that makes my life look perfect. I try and post, the real life, and the raw stuff. So no makeup or whatever's happening in the house. We had our house flood, I haven't said this yet, but a car crashed into our house 2 weeks into owning it.
Oh, geez.
But
is everybody okay? Was there a lot of damage?
I feel horrible. It was a person right across the street. It was the week of Thanksgiving, and her mother was in town, and she mixed up the brake and the gas, and her 80-year-old mother slammed on the gas, and we got it on the Ring camera, and she catapulted into our house. It was crazy. Wow. But just for privacy reasons, I didn't want to share the story or the video on social media. But yeah, I just wanted to say, just being a new homeowner, transitioning in life, it's not always perfect. And sometimes you make mistakes, and I definitely made a mistake, and it won't happen again.
And Caila, I'm interested to know, how did your husband handle that whole situation? Because obviously, people were putting you through the ringer and criticizing you. How did he act as that support system for you? And what was his reaction to the whole thing?
Oh, he is the most supportive man in the entire world. And I'm so lucky because I just have him as a shoulder to lean on. And he was there when it happened. And he is barely on Instagram, so we didn't even see it till later. And it was like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't have posted that. And we talked through it. But he was just there to help me feel like I can be human and say I'm sorry and move on with my life. And I'm not a horrible person, because I really did internalize that, and then really had to think like, what can I do to be better and just react better in life? And how can I learn from this? And he was that person to talk through it with.
I'm happy that you have that person in Nick and your husband, and you guys are able to talk through it. You mentioned Nick saying that, babe, you're a human being, right? But you also are an influencer, and in times, I am not new to Backlash whatsoever, and
yeah,
I think that you have a pretty darn squeaky clean, public-facing image, and so this may be one of the first and only times that someone may say something whatsoever negative about you, and I mean that from a most loving aspect. How do you feel when it comes to being an influencer and speaking out against things that you may feel are wrong in the public eye? Do you, how does your brain operate when it comes to things like that?
I think it's really hard to define what you want to speak out about. Mm-hmm. You're right. I think you have to process it, and you can't obviously speak on every topic. Correct. Because there's so much happening, and we're not news source. Like, no one follows. I don't follow Brian, and I don't follow you, Mike, to be my news source. I'm not like, oh, what's Mike up to today? Like, is he going to tell me, what's going on in politics? No, I think that's hopefully where people can be a little more forgiving. But I do think it's important to speak out when history is being made, and because we do have a voice, and I do think it's important to speak on topics that, where you can evoke change, and when it's personal to you.
Has anyone ever asked you questions like this before in an interview?
No.
Okay, I can feel that
haven't.
from you.
I know.
Putting you on the hot seat a little bit.
I can feel it, Brian.
This is what we do here, though. We talk it out.
Toasty.
Yeah.
I know.
Talking it out is all about thought-provoking conversations.
Really talking it out. No, I mean, it's hard because I am not the person. I'm not generally the person to post about that kind of stuff. And I think that's for a reason. And I think it's because I'm really protective over what I talk about and my community.
Definitely.
So
when it comes to that, and you and Nick, for the first time going through the backlash from social media, what would you want people to know that almost don't treat you, or the three of us, as human beings, at times? What would you say to that?
I would just I don't know. I hope that people pause before they send a message, because we are real people, and some stuff really hurts. Like, you have no idea what came out with this whole situation. Like, people were messaging my family, messaging me, saying that my head should be cut off. They were messaging my husband saying he should divorce me. They were just like slews of paragraphs and just tons of words that I didn't even know existed. But it really, I think what I want people to know is when you send a message, people like us, we're real people, and we internalize it. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like someone threw something at you, and it's like you can't get it off. Like they threw their words at you, and it's like ink that you just can't get off your body, and it seeps into your skin, and you feel it, and you carry it for months at a time. And we all make mistakes, and you just hope that people are forgiving and can move on.